Hey guys, couldn't let this one slide without making a comment. If you haven't seen it already, search Taylor Chapman. Just Google it, it'll come up. You'll get lots of references. Taylor Chapman, Taylor. Oh, it's in the title of the video. A very ignorant. She's not very bright, obviously. She's a fairly stupid individual. But she has that unfortunate combination of arrogance and stupidity. So, you know, stupid people can't help being stupid, you know. But unfortunately, when you get a stupid person who's also arrogant, it's a recipe for social suicide. And that's what happened. So basically, she's gone into Dunkin' Donuts because the night before they'd failed to give her a receipt, and then some staff member had been rude to her, which if you see the video you can probably get a bit of an idea of why. But she's all emotional because she wasn't given a receipt, and then she's supposed to be given a free meal and all this sort of thing. So she's basically rocked into Dunkin' Donuts with her iPhone in her hand and told them that they were under video surveillance and a whole heap of other ignorant stuff, and proceeded to videotape a rant where she was ranting at other customers, and she was ranting at the staff members, and she was swearing and cursing and using racist abuse and all sorts of stuff. Basically, social suicide. So she went in there with the intention of making Dunkin' Donuts look bad, and all she achieved was that she made the staff member seem very polite and very patient. And Dunkin' Donuts came out smelling like roses because the staff member was an absolute gem. He should be promoted and given extra pay because he was absolutely excellent, very professional and cool. And Dunkin' Donuts came out smelling like roses. And this stupid scrag, just a stupid girl, you know. She's obviously very confident about how smart she thinks she is. But unfortunately, that combined with the fact that she's extremely stupid resulted in just a rant of stupidity, you know, where she just kept saying, you know, sort of cringe-worthy things, you know, one thing after another. She kept saying, it was just like, I don't believe she said that, I don't believe she said that, and then she's ranting to the other customers and just carrying on. If you haven't seen it already, have a look at it. Just unbelievable. And then the incredible thing is that what she was hoping for was to make Dunkin' Donuts look bad. All she did was made them look good, give them a whole heap of free advertising, and just socially suicided. If you look on Google, she's just getting caned. You know, the video's been copied and copied and copied, and it's had millions of views. And read the comments, every single person is just abusing her. You know, I think something about a person who behaves like that, there's no way you can support it. You know, the issue that she had in the first place was irrelevant. The people she was talking to were really professional and polite, and she was just totally 100% evil. So nobody is supporting her. So she's just, apparently she kept threatening them and saying she was going to put it on Facebook. I'm going to put this video on Facebook, it's going to be the end of you, we're going to nuke you, and all sorts of crazy insane shit. And apparently it got, whatever reaction she got was so bad that she took a Facebook page down. so it had the opposite effect of what she thought it would. But just humanity at its worst, I think. At its worst. Just a couple of observations, guys. I mean, she's just one crazy, stupid, ignorant, arrogant bitch, you know, basically. Watch the video for yourself, you'll agree. You know, there's no way you can disagree with that. This is what she is. But it's more than that, I think. I think it's just, from dealing with the public myself over the years, I've noticed that people, some people seem to think that if you pay money for something, that gives you a right to be rude to the people you're dealing with. And I think when you pay money for something, it does give you certain rights. And in this case, Dunkin' Donuts apparently had promised that if you don't get a receipt that you get your next order for free or something like that, which they were doing. All she did was she told them, when they realised that's what was happening, they've given her her order for free. And I think that as customers, we're entitled to certain rights, of course, and you know, we should make sure that we get them, and I think that's fair, you know, but it doesn't entitle us to be rude assholes, you know, and it's something that is really good about living in Japan, is that you very rarely hear customers abusing staff here. You know, I can't remember hearing a customer abusing a staff member here. They just don't sort of do it. They just don't do it. Whereas, you know, a lot of other countries, it's just considered to be normal. I think people have frustrations in their lives, and they know that they can kick the shit out of staff in shops and businesses and things, because that they can't respond back. If you walk up to a total stranger in the street and abuse them, like this bitch in this video, if she went up to a total stranger in the street and laid the racial abuse on them that she did in that video, they would, you know, rightly so, react very strongly back at her. But when you do it to staff members in a business like that, they can't react, which is just bullying, basically, because you know she's abusing and swearing and carrying on like an asshole, and the staff can't do the same thing back to her. So it's bullying. It's really bullying, because she has an advantage that they don't. You know, she can be a rude, obnoxious bitch, and they're not allowed to. It's just bullying, and there's no excuse for it. You know, you can demand what you're entitled to a staff member. Excuse me, you know, I didn't get my receipt, I'm entitled to a free meal, please. You know, and you can demand what you're entitled to. There's no excuse for the abuse. There's no excuse. You know, I had a dude not so long ago who I did business with, and he was quite polite up until the point where he paid money to me, and then he started being rude straight away. His next email, after he paid the money, his next email was rude. I sent his money back to him, because, you know, it's just, I'm lucky I can do that, but staff members can't do that. You know, as a business owner, I've done that before with customers that have been rude to me in the past in Australia, and I just sent them their money back. And it's just not, it's not worth taking shit from you for money. Here's your money back. Bye-bye. And, but staff members can't do that in shops and businesses. So I'll tell you another thing that's good, guys. If you find yourself in a situation like that, where somebody's abusing a staff member and you're a customer, tell that person they're being rude and obnoxious and that it's not fair. Tell them. I've done that before in a bank. I remember being in a bank once, and the person in front of me was abusing the staff member, really unreasonably, you know. And I said, excuse me, you know, she can't fight back. You're being a bully. You know, stop being, there's no need to talk to her like that. She can't fight back. And he went, oh. But you know, we need to stand up for stuff like that. There was two men in that shop, and she put the camera on them, you know, and said, I'm putting this on Facebook, I'm going to Mars, all sorts of bizarre out there shit. And they just stood there and went, oh, and just, you know, she just abused the staff. I think because in a lot of cultures, a lot of countries, that abusing of staff has become normal, you know. I know in Australia it's really common in Australia to stand in a queue of people and people start abusing the staff, you know, because they're too slow, or because you know they've been waiting too long or something. And more often than not, it's something that's not in the staff member's control. So it's just bullying. It's ignorant. It's weak minds. I think it's people that don't have the balls. The same assholes that abuse people on the internet. I reckon the same people that leave, you know, abusive comments on the internet are the same sort of people that abuse staff people in businesses like that. It's because they're cowards that wouldn't do it toe to toe on an equal footing. You know, you can guarantee that the people that leave their comments on videos abusing people wouldn't do it face to face, and that bitch would be the same. You know, if that staff member, if they were on the street, walking down the street, you know, she wouldn't be walking up to someone standing face to face and giving them the racial abuse that she did there, because she knows that she'd get something back. You know, so it's just bullying. We shouldn't stand for it. If anytime we see anybody being bullied, we should stand up for them. And in the case of staff being abused by customers, I think we should as well. Because if the other customers don't stand for it, people won't be as likely to do it. You know, it's just not good enough. There's something about Western culture, maybe some other cultures too, I don't know, but there's something about some cultures where abusing people is sort of considered to be acceptable. You know, I remember standing around barbecues in Australia and people saying, you know, I went to this place and the service was no good, so I told them I was going to do this and I told them I was going to do that, and yeah, right, okay. Well, telling them's okay. I'm not happy with this service. I'm not going to shop here again. You know, that's a good thing to do. You know, if you're not happy with the business, I'm not happy with this service. I want my money back, please. You know, you stand up for your rights by all means. You know, your rights as a customer, but you don't have a right to be an obnoxious asshole just because you're paying someone money. It's the same as bosses that abuse staff. You know, that's pretty common in Japan. Bosses abuse staff because the bosses are paying the staff money. They think that gives them the right to abuse the staff. It doesn't. It gives them the right to have the staff do their job properly. And if they don't do their job properly, the boss should tell them, you're not doing your job right, you need to do it properly, and you need to do this, and you need to do this, you need to do this. There's no excuse for abuse. You know, just something about that culture. There's something about some cultures where the abuse, or some people's thinking, where they think that they have a right to abuse other people and to be obnoxious and horrible, and you don't. You don't, you know, and that's what this talk about instant karma. You know, that bitch obviously thought she was going to post that video on Facebook and that, you know, she was going to show Dunkin' Donuts and she was going to teach them a lesson. And instant karma, the whole world has turned around and said, you're an obnoxious bitch. The guy at Dunkin' Donuts did an excellent job of putting up with your crap, and he was really professional, and you're an obnoxious bitch. So I felt I had to do something. You can't. It's a fairly momentous one. This is one of those ones that comes up now and again. It's a viral thing, and it's sort of hard not to talk about it or not to address it. But I think to get something out of it, I think with these sort of things, it's entertainment value to watch a person, you know, socially suicide like that. But I think it's something. It's two sides to this. It's watching someone make a total dick of themselves on the internet, which is, you know, not an uncommon thing, is it? But I think there's another side of it too, that it's sort of disturbing that people behave like this, like they do, and it was a terrible thing to put those Dunkin' Donuts staff through. Hopefully, again, instant karma. The guy that was so patient with her, the staff member, as you'll see in that video, he was so patient, and I think he'll get his karma too, because he was so good. You know, I'm sure he'll be getting letters from the bosses of Dunkin' Donuts saying, good job, my man, you know, because he did an excellent job of putting up with her shit. He really did. He was so professional. So he'll get his karma, and everybody who knows him will be saying, you know, nice job, dude. You came out smelling like roses, you know. So, you know, there is that. It's interesting to see how karma does really happen, you know. Call it, if you don't want to call it karma, you can call it something else, you know. How life rewards good people and punishes bad people. You know, she was a bitch, and she's getting punished for it now, and he was good, and he'll be getting rewarded in some way or another. You know, people patting him on the back all over the place, I'm guessing. Employee of the month for sure. So, but yeah, I think if we can take something away from it is, let's not accept that. You know, I think the two dudes that stood in that shop and just stood there's two adult men in that shop watching that shit, and I think they were pussies. I really do. I think just some comment from them about, hey, take it easy, or, you know, something would have been reasonable, because she was just out of control, swearing, bad language, racist insults, just insane. And I think those two guys should have had a bit more balls and said something to her, you know, hey, take it easy, there's no need for the language, or no need for the racial abuse or something. But they were just pussies. They just sort of stood there and went, oh really, which is sort of a bit pathetic, really. I think we need to stand up, guys, when we see people being bullied in the workplace, you know, with staff being bullied by customers, or staff being bullied by bosses, or people being bullied by anybody. I think we need to stand up and say something, because it's not, you know, it's not acceptable to let people, you know, that can't fight back, which is basically what it is. It's why cowards do it on the internet, because they know that people can't fight back. They can't punch them in the face for their rudeness, you know. So they do it on the internet, and it's why people do it to staff members. And I've always hated that. It's always bothered me, you know, when you're in a queue at the bank or a queue at the shops, and you know someone up the front's abusing the staff. It's like, come on, you know, you coward, you fucking coward, across the counter to someone who can't fight back, you know, cowardly. It's really cowardly. You know, I'm going to tell your boss, and I'm going to do this, that, and you know, we'll just do it. You know, don't carry on. So anyway, so anyway, interested to hear your comments, guys. What positive stuff can we take away from this? What lessons can we learn from this? Don't videotape yourself being a rude, obnoxious asshole, because I might go back and bite you on the ass. So, and let's help stamp out bullying. More videos coming soon.